Or we're 29 minutes.
Oh, no, I think we're live now. Oh, damn it. I didn't mean to press the live. I'm just kidding. Hey, what's going on, guys? Woo! Avengers Endgame just came out this weekend, and oh, man, every single one person here has been waiting to talk about the freaking spoilers. Well, me personally. Some people have already talked about the spoilers. But anyway, guys, this is the biggest video you have all been waiting for on my channel, the spoiler discussion for Avengers Endgame. Before we get started, this is spoilers. This is spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, what's your problem?
Why come on, people. Everyone's seen it.
Yeah, you must have been living under a rock. Go to a movie theater and go. I'm just kidding. If you don't care about spoilers, then stick around. Stick around. Why not? Why not? So we're not just talking about the best scenes, guys. We're going through the whole freaking movie.
Oh, great!
All 3 hours and 2 minutes of this movie. We got about 5 or 4 pages of notes. We're gonna break down every single scene, give our thoughts on it, and then once we're done talking about the whole movie and the spoilers, we're going to give our updated MCU rankings because you guys have been asking me nonstop, Ryan, are you going to do an updated MCU ranking after Endgame? Are you going to do an update? Okay.
The answer is no.
No. Wait till But anyway, we're all gonna give our updated MCU rankings, including Cody.
Oh boy.
Cody's controversial.
Yeah,
but anyway,
pretty much.
Before we get started, let's address the chat, see who's here.
Let's say hi to everyone who's here first before we do that.
Absolutely. Let's say hi.
Hello, viewers.
Hi.
Hello, whoever.
We got Spongy Films, we got Dreary Doll, we got the Neezy channel all in here.
Oh, Neezy, what's going on, man? How are you doing, sir?
Let's introduce everyone joining the spoiler discussion. It's not just us two. We got Mr. Durbin from Durbania. What's going on, Durbin?
What is up? This is my second live stream today, and I am super excited to have yet another live. Though this one promises to be like 18 times longer than the first one I did, and that one was 2 hours. So, wow.
All right.
This is going to be longer than the MCU live stream with Tyler and Amari.
3 hours.
That's what we're longer than Endgame itself. But anyway, our next guest, since I just said Tyler's name, he's been on the channel recently with Thor Ragnarok. Tyler Calvert, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. So I'm on the channel all the time, it seems, at this point. Talk about it some more.
All right.
Woo!
And our final guest, come on. We had to bring the entertainment value. Jared Buckendahl, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I brought the entertainment. And just like Durbin, actually, I just got done filming or actually recording a spoiler podcast. Not a video, but podcast. So stay tuned for that.
I feel like we're missing out. Like we haven't
like joined the party of the podcast.
Yeah. We're like
but anyway, guys, thank you. Who's here? We got 5 people in here, but we got a couple more people tuning in. This guy named Tyler Calvert's here. Harry Thomas, what's going on, Harry? I know you saw it today, man. Spongy Driscoll Bros. Driscoll Bros was in Adam Daly's stream earlier.
Cool,
man. But anyway, we'll talk about the chat, actually. We're going to break down all the spoilers in this movie, guys. This movie's over 3 hours long. We're going to go through the whole entire movie, and then we're going to stop and address the chat.
Yeah.
This is going to be Cody's job.
I have a job. Yep. Thank you.
But anyway, so if you guys are commenting and we're not responding to your comments, we're just going through things first, and then we'll take a break and address your guys' comments.
Are we ready to do this, guys?
I'm ready.
All
right.
Are you ready? We have to hear ready in the chat and from you guys.
It's going to be delayed.
You guys know my channel by this point.
All right. Someone say ready. We got 3 hours to talk about. Here we go. Come on. We're going to talk about spoilers. Here we go. I'm going to pretend like I see one. There's one right there. No, wait. No, there's one.
No, wait. Not yet. My prediction is the whole video will be 6 hours.
Hopefully not.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think we would have voices left. I mean, I love this movie, but 6 hours. Come on.
Talking about it.
You watch it in Endgame 2 times.
Driscoll Bros said ready. There we go.
There we go.
All right, Ryan, let's get into this.
Let's just get right into this, guys. So, Avengers Endgame. So the film opens up with a scene that pretty much most of us expected. We see Hawkeye with his family being all nice and dandy. They're grilling up hot dogs or something, and then he's teaching his daughter how to shoot the arrow and all that. Boom, he turns around. Boom, his daughter's gone, turned to dust. And then he turns around again. Boom. boom, his whole family turned to dust. He's wondering where the hell they are, and then there's just like, no, and then it cuts to black, and then it plays the opening logo, which I wanted a darker opening logo, like no music and all that, but it's playing this Metallica song or something. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
And then it cuts right to Nebula and Tony playing paper football. They're playing with the paper football.
That was awesome. I enjoyed that.
That was wonderful.
You won. Great game. And all that. And then it cuts right to the scene from the teaser trailer with Tony's message to Pepper Potts. And they extended the scene and all that. And I want to get your guys' thoughts, first of all, on Tony's message and all that. So let's start with Durbin.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I like Tony's message, and I feel like they definitely extended that scene, but they also cut some stuff from the trailer that was in there with Tony's message. But I actually thought, and we're not even to this yet, his final message was way more heartfelt and heart-crushing than right there at the beginning. Yeah. But they did a really good job of, like, bringing up the fact that he had an infection from that stab, and so the infection has run its course. They did a good job making him look skinny, emaciated, and, like, sickly. Like, they did a really good job with Tony Stark in his makeup. So I thought, like, that whole opening scene was really good and showed how dire his situation was. And then I totally called it, Captain Marvel saving him.
Boom!
Boom!
We're getting right into it. Oh, man. Captain Marvel comes and saves the day. Yeah. Did anybody else think anything different was going to happen about anyone else?
I had ideas.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that was what was going to happen, but I felt like they got into it very quickly.
Yes. And like,
well, I'm glad they did that quickly. This is a 3-hour movie, and I did not want an hour and a half of a space odyssey of Tony, like, lost in space. So I'm glad they did it quickly, honestly.
Yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah, although I initially thought they were just gonna bait and switch us, and he was just gonna choke to death in that spaceship.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, that's how they're gonna go out. I'm just gonna run out of oxygen, and then eventually they'll be saved, but it'll be too late. They'll just have Nebula. And that whole scene where they meet up later on Earth and all that was a lie. It was all a lie.
We thought it all differently.
I also love how they extended Tony's message to Pepper, and also a great thing to note is Alan Silvestri's score, which is my favorite MCU score now. It's like this dark and sad music playing, and Tony's just saying all these things like, you know, food and water is wrung out and all that. We're fixing the ship. It's out of gas. Yeah. Like the ship is not moving at all. Yeah. And it's sad. It's like Tony looks like he's dying and he's just about to die. Yeah. And then Captain Marvel shows up, which was awesome. And she's picking up the spaceship and bringing it back to the facility.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add a little bit too. I'm surprised it happened early in the movie. I was expecting it to happen a little bit later on, but going on to what Durbin said, I'm glad they did pick it up, and like it happened right away, and we got into the nick of things, and all of the trailers weren't fake. Tony was actually a part of everything happening. They didn't just.
I was like, I don't believe you, MC.
Yeah.
You fool me every time.
Yeah. Once Captain Marvel brings Nebula and Tony back to the Avengers facility, we see Cap, Black Widow, War Machine, and all of them waiting for their arrival, including Pepper. And then Tony is just beaten up. They're helping Tony, and then he's just like, "I lost the kid."
Yeah.
And then he bugs Tony.
That was sad.
And then Rocket and Nebula embrace again, and we find out that this movie the opening scene takes place 23 days after Infinity War, when Thanos came to Earth and all that. So what did you think about that interaction, seeing Captain Marvel come in? Jared, what did you think about how the first 5 minutes were introduced?
Well, kind of like Durbin said, it was good to get into everything because this is a 3-hour movie. I wish that it was maybe a little bit slower, but 3-hour movie. It's awesome to see her just show up right away, save the person that's going to basically be able to run through this, who's been there since the beginning. Kind of switching over when the special effects that they did on his body to make him like look all gross and skinny, like that was really just kind of jarring. Like it looked really good, but it was just like, oh man, this guy is suffering right now.
It was hard to look at.
Yeah. Downey Jr. gives a really good performance in this film.
Oh my god,
some great acting when he takes out the arc reactor. And then he passes out. Like, damn.
Yeah,
that's worth an Oscar nom. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, just not pass out. Worth an Oscar.
I love the Oscars.
Yeah, Tyler. This movie introduced right off the bat that the tension is still there with Cap and Tony.
Yes.
Talk about that, Tyler.
I mean, I kind of figured they were going to have they were gonna not be on the best of terms when they finally did had to interact with each other. Since we never got that moment in Infinity War, since he never called that flip phone, so they never had that moment of reconciliation.
True.
And of course, a lot of things happen in Infinity War, which are made things probably a little bit more tense. I would say when half the population is gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love what Rocket said too. Yeah, he's pissed. And then Tony's like, I literally just thought you were a Build-A-Bear.
And the good thing is, like, obviously this is dire stuff. Like, there is, end of the world stuff, but Marvel is able to just put that humor to just hit perfectly.
This was
But
a lot.
good balance because
Yeah.
Tony was acting emotionally when he arrived. I mean, he just got over an infection. He's wounded. He's sick. He's on the brink of death. Like, he's just angry. And so that line between him and Cap was just so powerful because it wasn't just Tony acting out of, thinking things through. I mean, he was angry. We should have done this. We should have done that. And if we had done it this way, we would not be here right now. Like, that was really, I mean, I would be like that if I hadn't eaten in 23 days and all that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he said if we lose, we do this together. Where were you, Cap, and all that? Oh, that was so. And then Captain Marvel says pretty much, I'm going to fight Thanos alone. And then, of course, Natasha comes in saying, we do this as a team. We know space is all that stuff. So they decide they're going to go to Thanos. And boom, we find out 2 days earlier that Thanos used the stones. And so they got a location on him already. And so I just love how we got right into things. And then Thor walks up to Captain Marvel.
Just like the trailer.
I like this woman.
Yeah.
And then Cap says, let's go get this son of a bitch.
That was
boom. And then we go right to the opening logo.
Absolutely. And just to add a little bit more as to what you guys are saying too, I think Endgame, and I'm like, this is going to be emotional. It's not going to be fun. This movie was funny. Like, this movie was hilarious, and like it's up there with some of the funniest for sure.
Yeah,
I think, like,
every single joke pretty much landed with me.
The right times for sure. Yeah. So let's go to the next point.
Yeah, let's go to the next scene. So after the amazing opening logo, we see they're on the ship and all that. They're flying to wherever Thanos is. And Rocket's pretty much like, how many of you have been to space before? Don't throw up on my ship. So then Captain Marvel's the one who goes to look out and see if there's any guards and all that surrounding the planet.
Yep.
And then we see the scene where Cap is just like, this is going to work, Steve. I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't. And then Captain Marvel says, nobody's there. It's just him. And then, boom, we cut to Thanos. He's going up into his hog. He's farming. He's wearing a white shirt. His face is messed up.
Oh, yeah.
That was so funny.
Injured.
He was just wearing like regular clothes.
It was laundry day. Give him a break.
Or something.
Yeah.
And then Captain Marvel flies right in and attacks him. And so does Hulkbuster and all that.
Yes.
Yep.
And then they all just go up to Thanos like, where's the stones? And he's like, I destroyed them. And they're like, you used them 2 days ago. You murdered trillions. And so Thanos is just saying like, the stones, they almost killed me. I am inevitable. And then I love what Nebula says too. He's like, my father's many things, a liar, not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, daughter. I treated you too harshly. And then Thor takes Thanos and smashes his head.
Oh my god.
And then he cuts his arm off too. I'm like, damn. And then he's just like, I went for that.
So can I just say something about that line? I predicted he was going to say that, but like, like much funnier way. But he was just like, I did it. I went for it.
Can I just say, this is the darkest MCU film. He chops off Thanos' gauntlet hand and then he cuts his head off.
Yeah.
And they lingered on that shot of his head on the ground.
Yeah. What were your guys' reactions to that, Durbin?
Oh, man. I couldn't believe how quickly they faced Thanos that first time and how easily they killed him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was such a brilliant scene because, first off, it shows you the strength of Thanos, that here he is, like, he can't do anything with one half of his body. He's injured, but he didn't even blink in the face of death. In fact, he was so peaceful because he'd accomplished his purpose. So it didn't matter what happened at this point. He accomplished his purpose. He destroyed the stones, and so his life had accomplished his meaning, and so he didn't care that he was about to die. And to me, that just spoke volumes to that character.
Yeah, absolutely. Without the stones, he's just as strong. Yeah. Did you guys want to add anything?
Jared?
Yeah. When they busted in, that actually kind of like was a jump scare because I was like, oh my gosh, they're getting in on this so quick.
Yep.
But when they took his arm off, I was like, oh, this is pretty gruesome, and like obviously they're doing that because they don't want him to use the glove. Then they realize what's going on. But yeah, like Durbin said, it's like that character, he had a mission, he accomplished it, he's in retirement. He's just like,
Yeah.
my life is pretty much just go with the flow now. Maybe make some space corn. That's
Eat
it.
Whatever those fruits were, or vegetables, or whatever those.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Shout out to how it should have ended. That when they cut off Thanos' gauntlet hand, and it reminded me of that video.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
why didn't you just do that? Tyler?
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a great moment, and say I really like. I agree. I mean, it was done so well, and definitely was surprising because it's so early on in the movie, and they killed Thanos. It's like, well, shit. What are they?
It's like you look at your watch and be like, we got 2 hours left.
It felt like this was all happening in the first 20 minutes, and then once it turns to black, I'm like, is that a short film? Is this over? And then it's like 5 years later.
Boom.
And then, all right, this is where
Our theater gasped though when it went 5. Our theater went, and then it said years, and they all went.
Yeah.
I had the best audience ever. It was so fun.
Oh man!
Like, did you guys think? Did you like predict it was going to be like sooner, like less than 5 years or more, or like were you guys like?
I didn't know. I had heard rumors that it was 23 days later, and I heard rumors it was like 6 years later, and it was hilarious that it was both.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, awesome. I think this is a perfect time. Cody, you want to address the chat?
Yeah, we got a lot of people talking in here, which is awesome. Thank you guys. So someone brought up that the opening scene with Hawkeye was very emotional. Absolutely.
That was awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, absolutely. Love the moment when Captain Marvel rescued Tony and Nebula from space. Absolutely. I thought Cody was going to kill Thanos. No, I'm not that powerful. I can't do that. Sorry. Let's see here. Tony looked like me after school on that ship.
Oh, what school do you go to?
That's pretty.
Give him a sandwich.
What's wrong with your school?
Let's see. What's going on here? They should have taken Black Widow's body to Pet Cemetery. Wow.
Oh no! No,
Bro.
Oh,
that would have been awful.
Jeez. I think Endgame is going to defeat Avatar at the box office. It has a pretty good shot. It's
at 1.2 billion right now. And
someone also mentioned this movie saved Hawkeye's character.
Who said that?
I don't think his character needed saving. I think it deepened his character.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
I have some issues with Hawkeye, but I'll get to that later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get to it. All right, so going on next, Cap was holding sort of like a therapy session. And we saw with the Joe Russo cameo.
Yeah.
That was interesting because it reminded me of like
Winter Soldier. Sam had that position. He was talking with people about their issues, and now Cap has taken over that.
Right, and then right after that whole scene, he sort of like his very
it's the most human. This is the most human MCU film. These heroes are acting like humans after Thanos wiped it out.
Yeah,
and all that, and then we go to. Boom, we get a title card of San Francisco.
Yep.
And the one true hero of Endgame is the Rat.
The Rat.
Master Splinter.
Was anyone else disappointed by that? A rat saves
No,
Starling?
I thought that was perfect for Ant-Man. That was perfect for Ant-Man lore. Okay. That fit his whole shtick. I love it.
Rats usually eat ants, but anyway, so the Rat magically touches the quantum realm button, and then boom, Scott Lang is out of the quantum realm. 5 years later, 5 hours for him.
Yeah.
And so Scott is roaming the streets of San Francisco wondering what the heck has happened. And he asks the kid, "Hey kid, what happened here?" And so he goes to his house, and then
wait, can I say something about that kid? I try to remember that kid's face. I'm like, he's gonna show up later. I don't know. I just had like this weird.
And he never did.
And then Scott goes to a graveyard and sees all the dusted character cemeteries, and he tries to look and see if Cassie Hope's not on there. And he sees his name, and then he goes back to the house, and then Cassie's all grown up.
What did we think of that moment, guys? You know, Cassie's all grown
Tyler.
up.
I'm glad that she survived. But at the same time, I really love the actress that played his daughter in the first 2 films. The Ant-Man film. I was really sad that now she's probably not gonna ever come back.
She was cute.
I agree, adorable. But I think that was really cool to see. And he's just like, "You're all grown up.
You're so big."
Yeah, whatever he said. Like it was this touching moment for sure.
Jared.
Yeah, that part actually, I was like, why am I so emotional about a character like his daughter? We didn't really see her that much, but I bought into their relationship so much that like right then and there when he's like, you're so big. I just teared up. I was just waterworks.
And we're already tearing up at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Someone also brought up a good point. I think we can mention this movie didn't feel like 3 hours at all.
Absolutely
not.
Yeah.
It felt like 2 hours or 90 minutes.
Like two and a half. It just was. It was really, really good. You want to go to the next point here?
Absolutely. Where are we?
We're going right here.
All right. So the next we see Nat talking with Rocket, Captain Marvel,
Okoye,
Rhodey, Captain Marvel's new hairdo.
Yeah.
So they're talking. They're in different parts of the world, and so Captain Marvel decides that she's going to go on her own mission, and this is the last time we see her until the final act, Captain Marvel.
She was not joking. She's like, I'm not going to be back for a while. Yeah, she was.
She has other planets to take care of because they're dealing with the same thing, Rocket. And then Rhodey stays, and then we find out he's going to look for Clint and Ronan. But then Nat's like, I'll go look for him myself.
Right.
And so we see Cap walk in, and I really love that conversation with Cap and Natasha. It's just... they're just human beings. Like, we don't get these small moments in majority of superheroes.
That was my favorite performance from Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow right there. Like when she's trying to take a bite of that sandwich and she's tearing up and you see her fighting it back. That was probably the most emotion I have seen in that character the entire franchise, and I loved it.
Right. Yeah. The highlights for me are Scarlett Johansson and
Chris Evans' chemistry.
And Robert Downey. They were fantastic in this movie.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then we see Scott shows up.
That wasn't also fake footage. Scott shows up.
Scott's like, hey, remember me? I was in Germany. We fought in the airport. And then the trailer lied to us because Black Widow doesn't have the blonde hair and she has red hair.
Oh, I didn't even notice
pink hair.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about her hair in the trailer in that scene versus what we saw in the movie. It just didn't even cross my mind. Good catch, Ryan.
Right.
Yeah. And then Scott shows up and he tells them about a way about using the quantum realm. Time travel. Anyway.
So let's talk a little bit about the time travel. Did you guys pretty much, I mean, I don't even know if this is really a spoiler. Time travel's in this movie.
Is that
sort of just assume this was going to happen?
Of course.
Yes. Well, I did, but I was very nervous. Like before seeing this movie, like time travel is the main guess. I had another guess that they'd find a way to go inside the Soul Stone and bring them out, which even as I thought about it, I was like, that's stupid. They're going to do time travel. But time travel makes me nervous because I'm burnt down on it with The Flash on the CW, and I love it in like other movies like Back to the Future, but I did not want this franchise X-Men Days of Future Past. This whole franchise is good, and I did not want them to ruin it or reset it. So I was very nervous going in, but I was incredibly pleased with how they used it in the movie.
Or they use it like in Terminator where it makes no sense anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
None of the timelines make sense or anything.
Yeah, and they weren't afraid to poke fun at those movies that use time travel too.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Back to the Future,
all of that was
Die Hard. Nah.
Someone made a joke. Yes, that rat saved the world. Yes, pretty much.
Master Splinter. That's what that was.
That rat is Master Splinter.
Shared universe.
William Clark brings up, since we're talking about time travel, he said Paul Rudd is such a breath of fresh air in this film that he probably had the funniest moments in the film.
I agree. Paul Rudd was in this film so much, and we needed him to because he's the only one there that knows so much about the quantum realm,
right?
Because of Hank Pym.
Right. So we learn a little bit more about the quantum realm.
Says that the quantum realm time is different than real time. He said felt like 5 hours from him compared to 5 years. So,
right. So then like all those speculations are like, how is this all going to work? And like, how is it all going to be figured out? And then
we go to the next scene. They're like, we have to go to somebody. And then boom, it shows Tony Stark and a new house. And he's like playing hide and seek with his daughter named Morgan.
Yeah.
I love you 3000.
Yeah.
So cute.
What did we think of this reveal? Did anyone think it was a dog at first? I don't know. It looked like a dog. It looked like a doghouse at first. I don't know. I thought they were gonna. It might just be me, but I guess Jared, talk about that moment when it's revealed that Morgan.
No, it's not a dog. It's a girl.
I know.
Embarrassing me.
Don't listen to me. Go
It
ahead.
very much fit his character. You could tell he was in love with Pepper, and she's still being there. And, you know, he's kind of hung up the Iron Man suit, the mantle. The world doesn't really need it anymore. So he just wanted to settle down and almost like live a normal life again.
Yeah, it was a nice moment.
And throwback to Infinity War. Last night, I dreamt we had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Such great. Tyler?
Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't think it was a dog either. I thought
Sorry.
I thought that'd be funny though. If it was a dog with Iron Man armor on. I mean, that'd be pretty dope. Actually. I mean, it was cool that he got his like normal-ish life, I guess. Because I mean, obviously, there's still a bunch of high-tech craziness in his house that we see later on. But he's still relatively just living in a normal, just regular town, just being a regular guy while also being super intelligent.
Absolutely. Durbin, did you have to add anything?
Oh, I thought it was a good scene. Cool
Yeah.
little reveal to have him have a little girl. And what I liked about that whole scene is it made the time travel stakes better for me because like I said earlier, my concern was please don't go back and mess up the timeline of these perfect movies. I mean, they're not perfect, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As a whole, this franchise is amazing. So for him to have this daughter and be like, if we're going to do this, I can't lose what I got.
Yep.
That upped the stakes for me so much. So it's not like, oh, we need to bring them back 5 years ago. No, we bring them back to today. And we do everything in our power to not lose what I found. And so I thought that was a really cool thing that raised all of the stakes with time travel. So whenever they made their mistakes, it was like, no, Tony's going to lose his daughter. You better fix that.
Right.
So that leads to Cap, Scott, and Nat go to find Tony. They go to talk to him about joining them and say, we need you, man. We need you to help build this time travel machine.
Right,
And he's
right.
like, no, I got the perfect life I always wanted. I have a daughter. I have Pepper back. I'm not going to screw that up.
No.
And so Scott's the one who's pushing really hard to get Tony about. And I just love how he's just like, Scott, are you really telling me to bring back everybody? You're just going to talk about Back to the Future?
Yeah.
And then that's so good. I love all that banner with Scott and Tony and all that.
And that's when I was really like, I really wonder what they're going to do with Tony Stark now. Because, like, he has his daughter. He wants to settle down. It's going to take a lot for him to, you know, go out and do it one more time kind of thing. So I thought that was a really, really good thing there for the Russo brothers.
And then we go, and then Cap's like, I can find somebody. And then boom, we get to Professor Hulk.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
I like Professor Hulk, Cody. He's
I'm going to
awesome.
go last on this one
And then
because
he
I
has
have
a
my
big
issues
bowl
with
of eggs.
Professor
Have some
Hulk.
eggs, Scott, and all that. And Bruce Banner is basically the Hulk's body, but it's Bruce Banner's mind.
Let's talk about Professor Hulk, guys. Who
All right,
wants to go first?
Jared, Professor Hulk.
I was very shocked. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, it was very weird and off-putting almost, but it fit with the story. It fit with the character, and I really enjoyed it after it played out. The very first scene, though, I'm like, ooh, this is a comedic character. They need to maybe shift it a little bit, make it a little bit more serious, which they eventually did.
Yes.
Did it feel like Bad Ape from War for the Planet of the Apes? That kind of weirdness at the start?
Not entirely. I mean, it looked good. It was Mark Ruffalo green and big. That's about it.
Right.
Tyler, did you speculate Professor Hulk showing up?
Yeah, because I mean, there's only so many places you can go with the Hulk, I suppose. But it's just like I do think it's funny that every time we see the Hulk, he looks more and more like Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Every time we see him in each movie, he progressively just turned into Mark Ruffalo anyway. So I figured eventually he's just gonna be Mark Ruffalo.
Right.
Yeah, Durbin?
I liked it. I think in that character, it kind of embraced what this movie's looking at. I mean, this whole movie was facing a fight that was impossible. And when you look at Bruce Banner, he's fighting an impossible fight throughout this entire franchise. He looks at Hulk as this disease that has to be cured. And then it becomes just this thing that he has to live with and hopefully not explode into, the big green monster. But now he's changed his way of thinking. And now this impossible fight has been won. And now he's living in harmony with the Hulk. And so it's interesting because it kind of Tony's journey for me, how he's been in fear ever since the first Avengers, post-traumatic stress since the first Avengers, and learning how to have to act differently about that and fight a fight that he's never fought before. And so I don't know. I thought the Hulk character was a very good parallel. Kind of sad, like what we said in our Scream stream just a little bit ago, that we did not get a hulking out moment where he really was like,
That was my issue.
Yeah.
And that was my issue.
Go ahead, Cody, talk about it. You were
So, like,
disappointed.
obviously, we know in Infinity War, he was battling with and he wasn't coming out in Infinity War. Like, it just wasn't happening. I wanted that Hulk smash moment. I wanted it. But I don't know. I've only seen the movie once. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it more than once. And I hear it's better after more rewatch.
It is.
So I'm probably going to feel the same way about it. I don't know. I just wanted that Hulk smash moment where he like smacks the hell out of Thanos or something. And
I love Professor Hulk's interactions with Ant-Man in the movie, and there's a scene where he's taking selfies.
Yes,
with
that
kids
was
and
awesome.
He's dabbing. That was the only cringeworthy thing. I'm like, Hulk, please don't dab.
Surprised the kid got a picture with Captain America.
yeah. Yeah, it was yeah, again, it was just a little bit. I mean, I liked it, I guess, overall.
You just
but I
felt
would
like
have
it was Mark Ruffalo
yeah,
as the Hulk,
sure.
as Bruce Banner.
I just wanted that Hulk smash moment. It's all right. It's fine.
Should we address the chat or go?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. what's
Yeah,
going
let's go
on
through
here.
the chat.
This is probably some of the best marketing Marvel's done. Love how they kept Professor Hulk under wraps. Yeah, definitely. They did
Marvel,
a good job.
great job on the marketing.
And Devin Pilgrim's here. What's going on, Devin?
What's up, Devin? How you doing?
Good to see
All
you.
right, where are we? Right here.
All
All right, so the next scene we see Tony. He's in the kitchen cleaning dishes, and he sees a picture of Peter Parker.
Yep.
And that motivates him to try something. So he tries to test out time travel and all that, and then he finds out it works, and he's just like, "Shit!" And then his daughter's right behind him. Shit. Shit. And I'm like, "No, what did you say?" I said shit in front of my daughter.
Uh,
And then
That
he's
was a
like,
great
"I
scene.
love you, 3000. I love you, 3000. I love that so much.
yeah. Yeah, it was an emotional thing. Then he has a conversation with Pepper, and
Wasn't he like, if I put away these suits, I'll be better? And she's like, will you be happy? Or
well, he
something?
just talked about like
She said you'll never rest.
yeah,
You could throw this in a lockbox, drop it in the lake, pretend you didn't find this, but you will never rest. Epic foreshadowing.
yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Epic foreshadowing.
Yeah, it was a
We're
great
not even
moment
there
there.
yet. Anyway,
I can't help it.
So it seemed like the motivation for Tony was getting Peter Parker back.
yes, he's just like, I lost the kid. He wants to get Peter back.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
so the next scene,
Spider-Man.
we see Professor Hulk running the quantum realm machine, Cap there as well, and Ant-Man. They test out the quantum realm with time travel to see if it works, and they completely fail
It's
the
brilliant.
first time. We see Scott Lang testing it out. He first goes in, and then he's back as a teenage boy, and then he goes back in.
I'm like, is that the boy that Ant-Man saw? No,
and
it's
he's
not.
back as an old man, and then he's a baby now, and then he's back. He's like, I just pissed my pants. I don't know if it was an old man or a baby.
I thought that was going to end up being Stan Lee's cameo, but it didn't.
And
Oh,
Professor Hulk's like, do we have a problem? We're good.
Yeah. Again, just talking more about that humor, how it was implemented perfectly.
And then the next scene,
Tony shows up.
Tony shows up. He's driving like 85 miles an hour.
Furious.
Like it's a Fast and Furious movie. So he pulls up to Steve,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, I found a way, man. I found a way to time travel, but I must tell you this. If we do this, let's get the fallen heroes back, but please do not mess up my timeline. And then opens up the trunk, boom, Cap shield.
It's back.
I need to get this out because Morgan's going to take it sledding.
Yes.
That's a joke I missed on my first watch. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
And that's where we found out the name of the daughter.
Morgan.
Yeah.
I knew it was
more.
Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
Morgan. And then we see the ship come in, Rocket and all of them is like, and then Nebula just walks by and is like, warning, there's this weird man right here. And then War Machine's like, what's up, regular size man?
And the taco scene.
Pretty good.
Hawaiian music. and then Hulk and Rocket go to New Asgard, which is Tonsberg, Germany. It's this fishing community. So we see Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
oh man, that was awesome just to see the Ragnarok survivors.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Because you go through all this stuff in Ragnarok to save everybody, then Thanos kills a huge chunk of them, and then he disintegrates half the universe. So it was nice to see that, Ragnarok wasn't a waste.
Yeah, some of them lived.
Yeah.
And Durbin, I know you're not a fan of Thor Ragnarok that much, and it was cool to see Valkyrie.
It was awesome to see Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And it's not that I hate Thor Ragnarok. I
Yeah.
was just disappointed, and they're leaning into all the slapstick without balancing it out with the weight of like the actual plot of what was going on in that movie.
Jared,
But I love Valkyrie.
Jared,
Yeah, about the new Asgard stuff.
no, seeing Valkyrie.
I go
Oh.
with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had kind of hinted, or it was hinted at with the posters that came out that she was
Yes.
still alive, but obviously this solidified the fact that she is still in the MCU.
Yes. And Tyler.
Yeah, I kind of figured that she was alive based on the posters, but I was just curious to see how she was going to end up being alive or where she was going to show up. And then she was just in town, just helping out the fishing community.
And it's just like he comes out once a month to get supplies, and we see beer chugs. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh,
And then fucking Hulk go inside, and then we see Thor. Oh, hey, what's going? He looks like Santa Claus, Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
Then we see
100%
Korg
Big
and
Lebowski.
Meek.
Yeah. Let's talk about this scene for a little bit. The new Thor. Let's start with Durbin. What did you think of the new Thor?
Oh my gosh. I was cracking up at that new Thor. At that first thing, it turns around and you see his belly, and it's just, whoa! I just went, no freaking way!
Straight out of the comics.
But what I liked, he stayed fat
Same.
the whole way through the movie. It's
Yeah.
like there was no magical workout or lightning bolt to make him thin. He stayed fat. He still was like an awesome character,
Yes.
but he was a fat, awesome character.
I thought to myself, this is going to piss a lot of women off. Anyway, Jared.
Some of the women I was with were ticked, yeah.
Jared?
I thought it was absolutely perfect. It played into like the humor of kind of how that character has evolved. The one thing I didn't like is, I guess there was no consequences. I mean, he could still kick ass. He could still move really quick. I thought that there would maybe be a little bit of a maybe disadvantage because he's out of shape, but he's a god, so I'm assuming no matter what he looks like, he can still do whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, Thanos does get him down on his back and almost stabs him with the axe. So
Yeah, that's true.
You could argue that maybe that's because he's out of shape, but I don't know.
Yeah, I had that same thought too, Jared, about, you know.
Yeah, and we see...
Actually, no, yeah, Durbin, that makes a lot of sense because, yeah, at the end of Infinity War, Thor easily takes him out. In this one, yeah, he's kind of wrestling with him a little bit.
Yeah.
And in Thor, we see he's obviously a different Thor. He's hugely regretting after Thanos and all that. And we see Korg and Meek, they're playing Fortnite and all that.
I gotta play Fortnite.
Nuke Master 69, he called me a dick.
Yeah, yelled at
69, this is the god of thunder.
That was a great scene.
And then I love Rocket is like, you look like melted ice cream.
Perfect. So then Hulk trying to motivate Thor was up next.
It's a great role change because Thor was the one bringing Hulk back in
It's true.
Ragnarok, and Hulk's the one trying to bring Thor back in Endgame. I love that.
Yeah, that was, but yeah, that whole new Thor was definitely
I like that.
highlight
I
for
love
sure.
new
It was
Thor.
great. It was
So
great.
now we go to the next scene. We're in Japan now, and we see Ronin, Hawkeye.
Yes!
He is straight up murdering the Yakuza.
The Punisher of the MCU, right there.
Can we make a Ronin movie, please, Russo brothers? Anyway, so Ronin,
You get a TV show. That's what you get. You get a TV show.
I mean,
so he's in Tokyo. He is murdering dudes left to right. He does not care whatsoever because he's fighting all these bad guys. Like, why didn't they turn to dust in my family? So he's murdering these people, and I love how he uses that accent, and then he takes off the hoodie, and he's like, you shouldn't be here. And Nat's trying to bring Clint back into the game.
We saw
let's
all
talk
this.
about Ronin. Tyler, what were your thoughts on Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye Ronin?
I thought it was cool that he knew Japanese.
He's-
I guess he had 5 years to learn Japanese, but
There you go.
yeah, I thought he was cool. Like I mean, it was a good character development for his character because I think this is probably my favorite movie involving him in general. I mean, I've never been a big Hawkeye / Ronin fan, but the thing that always bothered me when I watched the film was he killed like hundreds of people over like the course of like 5 years, and there was like no repercussions. He literally like stabs that guy, like executes him in the street in front of Black Widow, and they're just like, "Hey, we need you for time travel." And like that.
We need you for this time travel gig.
Yeah, all right, big deal. You killed hundreds of people over the last 5 years. We're just gonna go back to what we were doing before.
Right, and then he was like, "Don't get my hopes up," and then
she's like, "I should have came to you a while ago. I'm sorry
about that." So
very powerful acting from Jeremy Renner.
also,
And the next scene,
everyone's back together.
Hawkeye's back, and so they're testing out their first test run with time travel. And then Ant-Man was gonna go, and he's just like, "If you can't change the future, man," and then Ronan's like, "Give it to me, I'll do it." And so, and then Hawkeye's the one who goes back and test runs, and he goes back to his farm. And he tries to see his family, but unfortunately, the time runs out.
I was like, so close.
And then he's like, "It works." And so
I have to ask you guys about time travel in this movie real quick. So they made a point that this is not like Back to the Future, that no matter what, you can't change the present. But they take people out of their time and bring them forward to our time. And I get it. You can't. Okay, so if they're going to establish that rule, no matter what you do, you can't change the present. It still doesn't change the fact that it has taken my brain and tied it into a knot. Like, I didn't get hung up on it in the movie. The movie was just too good to get hung up on something so small. But I still sometimes cannot help but question it, because it's just like, how do you not change the present? So that was, I mean, I'm curious.
Travel in any movie.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like X-Men Days of Future Past, how they deal with the time travel there.
Yeah, but they changed the present.
Yeah.
Now I'm really thinking about it. Oh man.
No, yeah, that's definitely one thing that I would say is a little iffy, because a lot of time travel stuff, they set up rules. You can do this, you can't do that. This one, they're like, yeah, all those movies, none of that's true, but it's like, then what is true, you know?
Yeah. See, like, when you bringing that up just makes me think about Ned later on in the movie and how he didn't age, and how like
word on the street is he was dusted
in an interview that all the high school students turned to dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I interpreted from that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They confirmed that, Kevin Feige.
That would be funny though if like one of the students or whatever didn't age. Well, if he didn't get dusted, so he was like 5 years older than everybody else.
He's like, hey, we used to be friends. You want to go drink? I'm 15.
Ned's like a full-grown adult now, and he has to just live with the fact
that would be funny if he did turn into it.
It would be here. Looking at the chat for a little bit. See, like, you have two different thoughts. Thor. Someone found Thor disappointing, but then we see don't mind Thor too much. He was really funny, and I appreciate the new take. So, like, I can see why Thor would be mixed, because we want that God of Thunder, but yet,
yeah, I knew it was gonna have mixed reactions to new Thor.
I appreciated that his suit still fit though.
Marvel.
It is a magic suit, so I'm not surprised.
So there's magical tailors.
Yes.
Can I say some other great jokes that I loved? Tony walks by Thor. He's like, "Watch out, Big Lebowski."
Yep.
And then he's like, "What's up, Ratchet?" It's like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
That was good.
Anyway, so
basically, Ronan comes back and he's like, "It works." So then
they go into a press room and they break down all the Infinity Stones.
Yep.
Thor, what's the Reality Stone? Is he sleeping? No, I think he's dead. And then he's just like, "Oh, yeah, so the Reality Stone." And then, so they break down all the Infinity Stones, and they realized in 2012 there were 3 Infinity Stones during the Battle of New York: the mind, space, and time. So they break up into 3 teams. Team 1 is Cap, Iron Man, Hulk, and Ant-Man. They
all go to New York.
Team 2 is Thor and Rocket. They're going to Asgard.
I'm glad they kept them together, by the way.
Yeah, that was epic. I love their partnership. It was awesome.
Yeah. On Morag, it is Rhodey and Nebula, and Vormir is Clint and Nat.
Yep, those are our teams.
So they all have their assignment. Cap gives that awesome pep talk to all them. He's pretty good at that.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
Yeah, he is. Can I say this about Cap?
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite characters in this movie because, okay, so Thor got fat, and then Hulk became, Hulk Banner. Captain America didn't have a cork. He managed to mentally keep it together even after watching Bucky disintegrate in front of his face, and even lead support groups to help them get better.
But he did shave.
Yeah, he shaved. Okay, all right. He was so depressed. He shaved. Yes.
Cap wins the MVP award like Thor won for Infinity War.
Yes.
And Doctor Strange too, but Cap is the MVP in this movie. So then they go through the time travel, the quantum realm, and then boom, we see New York 2012. And I flipped out.
This was so cool.
And the theater cheered. They just cheered.
the iconic shot from the Avengers, rah, and then they turn around, and then we see them come out, and they're like, all right, there's 2 stones down there, first one up there. We see Hulk, rah, and then you have to smash something.
Yeah, it just smashes the car.
And he had to like tear off his massive tank top.
And then
Yes. This is just kind of grotesque, but whatever.
Hulk goes to the sanctum and he finds the Ancient One.
So let's
That
stop
was
there
cool.
and talk about the Ancient One. Who was shocked? Let's talk about it.
I
That
didn't
was
see that.
awesome. That was dope. That was really cool just to look in retrospect, thinking, oh yeah, that building was in New York during all of this. So I guess that would make sense that they would be in on the battle too, so you see it from their perspective. That the Ancient One's killing Chitauri as they fly over.
Yep.
That too. Like, yeah, the Ancient One's back.
Yeah, it was a nice little touch. I didn't see it coming.
And then Hulk's just like, I'm looking for Doctor Strange. You're 5 years too early. Doctor Strange is performing surgery 22 blocks from
Bro, wrong year.
Yeah, wrong year.
I like that. I like that. Ancient One already knows what he's doing. And so
Yeah.
Yep.
she does the same thing she did to Strange. Boom! And Bruce Banner's
Yeah,
mother.
that was awesome to see that, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What else have?
So that was pretty. And then
we go to Asgard 2013. Back to Thor: The Dark World. Oh.
I thought that redeemed Thor: The Dark World for me, man. Like,
All right,
that
let's talk
was
about it.
cool
Sure.
to dive into that.
Why did it redeem it for you, Dervin? Let's talk.
Well, first off, Thor: The Dark World is probably my least favorite of the MCU movies, but I still enjoy it. I could go into all of these movies and find them entertaining and enjoyable, but it redeemed it for me just because it was so cool to come back to this moment and get it from this backwards perspective, and then to like have Thor's mother be there. Like, it was just so good.
Yeah.
Like,
Rock looks like a homeless man.
yeah, he did look like a homeless man.
Her name. So I thought we were going to see Malekith again. Oh. They walk past Loki.
Yes.
And then Rocket has the plan. He's going to take that bottle he has, and he's going to take the ether out of Jane Foster. And then Thor's just like, oh no, my mother's going to die. I don't want to do this. Hey, buddy, come here.
Continuing their great relationship with each other.
So the next thing that happens, we already talked about that. Morag 2014. We're back to the first Guardians of the Galaxy. So Nebula and Rhodey team up. They're going to stay on Morag, and then Nat and Clint are going to Vormir. And so they talk about the plan and all that. We're just going to wait for Peter Quill. And so,
Which was awesome. By the way.
That was awesome.
So Nebula brings up that we're not the only one looking for the Infinity Stones. My father, my sister, and myself.
Yep.
And then we see Gamora again.
Hey!
But she is the evil side Gamora.
Yeah.
And so, and then they're talking about how they're gonna get the Power Stone, which is the orb, and then Thanos walks in, the badass mofo Thanos.
Oh.
And then they find out that they see with the Nebula they have that, all right, they're finding out their plan already.
Yeah. So Jared, let's talk about that whole sequence.
Let's talk about that whole Thanos.
What'd you think about all that?
Oh, I absolutely love that, and that's where it started tying really interesting things in together. I don't want to jump ahead too far, but the one thing I did have a little bit of a problem with that whole scene, because I was like, did they know exactly what day and what hour that Peter Quill was going to steal that thing?
I didn't think about that till just now.
That was one thing that just jumped out. I mean, it makes sense. You gotta just forget it.
But Nebula could figure it out.
Yeah,
because
and
they
see,
wanted
that's
that
the thing.
stone really bad, and
Yes.
it went missing when they sent, Ronan's.
I don't know why
Yeah.
Nebula didn't say anything about that until after they time traveled to there, though. Like, hey, by the way, you might want to send some more backup. Thanos, me, and Nebula might be looking for this too, and Thanos is kind of a big deal.
Well,
yeah.
War Machine is a lot of backup, though. I mean,
my ship. All right, Cody, do you want to address the chat?
Yeah, so Ryan, I think you called the Ancient One a boy by accident. Good.
Did I?
Yeah, probably.
sorry.
Someone said they appreciated Dark World just a little bit. So happy Thor and Frigga connected. Didn't feel like they interacted that much in Dark World. Yeah, she had a lot more lines than she did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got a better paycheck.
For a split second, thought you were a Build-A-Bear. Keith said, I can't believe people like this movie. Apparently, nostalgia is a powerful drug.
first off, nostalgia is a powerful drug. Never underestimate that. And secondly, even without nostalgia and this movie's plot holes, I still thought it was great. But that's my opinion.
Absolutely.
Film is subjective.
Film is subjective.
All right, let's go to the next thing, guys. So we go to the scene where at the end of the Avengers, if it's all right with you guys, I think I'll have that drink now. And then Tony, he's trying to figure out the plan on how to get the Tesseract. And he's like, Steve, might I just say something? That suit did nothing for your ass. And then he's like, you know what, Cap? I like that's America's ass.
That was fantastic.
Oh my, this is perfect humor. And then they're on the elevator. Whoa, size is a thing. No, I hate stairs.
That was great. I love that. Like,
That was my favorite thing.
Everything with Hulk was freaking hilarious. And then we go to one of my favorite scenes, the elevator. And we all thought Cap was going to do the same thing he did to them in the Winter Soldier. But they throw a loop at us. And he says, I got a call from the secretary. I need the scepter. And he's like, Hail Hydra. Yes! Yes!
Oh, yeah.
I was clapping.
That was a
Talk
great
about
scene.
all that thing. Guys, what were your thoughts? So let's start with Durbin.
Oh, that whole scene was just really fantastic. Again, like we just said, nostalgia is a drug. So I was high on that drug right in that scene, coming right back. I think he'll have that drink now. I love that. I love revisiting it. That's one of the things that's fun about time travel movies, is where you could like revisit something from a different angle. So that was really kind of cool. And the whole stairs elevator thing was just hysterical.
Perfect.
Now, I never read the comic where Captain America in the last frame says, Hail Hydra. But I really appreciated what this movie did, because it's like honoring our comics and having a blast with those scenes and keeping Captain America like good and wholesome. So I loved that scene. That was so good when he did that and took that scepter.
So many stairs. And then we go to downstairs and we see Robert Redford back as Alexander Pierce.
Hello.
Excuse me, where are you taking that case and all that? You have Axe body spray? Yeah, I just keep on. They're arguing over the Tesseract. I need that case. And then Ant-Man goes inside Tony.
Yeah.
Someone get a medic. And then Tony takes the case, and then Hulk bursts out, no more stairs! And then the Tesseract pops out, and Loki takes the Tesseract, and he disappears.
He just paced out.
Yeah.
Leading up to his new series.
Do you think that'll lead into the new
There's
Disney?
people speculating his new series.
It might. I mean, it might. Yeah.
Anyway, and then we see Tony gets back up and all that, and like, oh, we screwed it up. Damn it. And then we see one of my favorite scenes, Captain America. Please tell me you got the stone. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. I'm Loki on the 14th floor. I am not Loki, and I don't want to hurt you. I can do this all day. I know. Bucky's still alive.
I mean, if your face wasn't smiling the whole time during this,
I'm a Captain America fan. I was geeking out. I'm like,
I was expecting Captain America to fight his past self.
Yeah,
That was epic.
shout out to Zach Pope. He thought like they were gonna fight off against their 2012 selves, and Captain America came true.
Yeah,
Bucky's still alive. What? That is America's ass.
Yeah, then he agreed. That's very nice.
that is. Yeah, that was
fantastic. Where are we? Okay, so then we cut to Bruce and the Ancient One again, and they talk about you can't if you don't put the stones back, the old world will suffer. So they talk a lot about the Infinity Stones.
She knew
what was going on, and then he brings up the fact that why did Doctor Strange give the stone to Thanos? Like what? He just willingly, and so she takes the time stone, gives it to him.
perfect.
And then Thanos, and we see Ebony Maw again. That was great to see Ebony Maw back.
Absolutely.
I don't know that guy from the comics, so none of that was too thrilling. But it was just like, oh, he's back.
Yeah.
They check the nebula, the old nebula, and they find out there's two nebulas, one from 9 years into the future, and that's my Ebony Maw impression. So they find out, all right, set course to Morag. We gotta find that stone.
And I'm like, oh, so that's how Thanos is gonna take apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Thor talks with Mommy. They're like, what are you doing? Ah! Leave the snake into your brother. And then it's just a great moment to see Thor talking with his mother again. I really like that interaction between them.
And Natalie Portman came back for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
How much do you think that 2 seconds cost Marvel? Like she had paid a buttload for 2 seconds.
Oh,
2
yeah.
million just for a 5-second cameo.
I did
Oh,
like
gosh.
that scene was framed where it looked like Rocket Raccoon was gonna go all serial killer on her from behind. With this
Yeah.
cut away.
And then it was just a great moment with Thor and Mommy, and you must be Mom. And then she's just like, eat a salad. And then, yes, I'm still worthy.
Let's take a look at some of the chat here. Keith said that about they're talking about the third act. He said he liked Ant-Man, Nebula, and Rocket. I thought the final battle. We'll get to the final battle later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And someone else said the movie was insane. Yes, it was. All right,
It
good.
was insane.
Insane. Am I insane?
Good.
Thor talks with. All right, now let's go back to Morag. We see the opening of Guardians. Hey, hey. So he's basically an idiot. And then they knock out Peter Quill.
Like it was nuts.
This is the tool of a thief. And so they open up the portal. They see the orb just perfectly standing there, nobody guarding it, just like the first Guardians. So, and then Nebula is the one who takes the orb, and her hands burnt and all that.
Yeah.
They got it perfectly without anybody fighting them. So War Machine goes back, and then Nebula doesn't, and it interjects her memory, the old Nebula. And then they find out, and then she gets kidnapped.
Yeah, basically.
By Thanos.
I thought that was clever. I thought that was really clever of the quantum entanglement that her mechanics were picking it up. That was cool.
Definitely cool little moment for sure. And Thanos says his line.
My favorite line of his in the movie, no, that is destiny fulfilled.
Yep, you're right. Let's go here.
So, new plan. Tony and Cap, they go back to 1970 where the Tesseract and more Pym particles are there because they're out of Pym particles, so they need them.
And we get to the Stan Lee cameo.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Not porn.
What did we think
Were
of
you
this?
guys disappointed by that cameo? Did you want a better one?
What were we thinking about the cameo?
Jared.
I mean, it was nice to see him. It wasn't anything. It wouldn't be in my top 10 of his cameos. It was kind of just a toss away one.
Yeah. Durbin, what do we think?
I mean, same thing. I mean, they didn't know that was going to be his last cameo. Otherwise, I'm sure it would have been more impactful. For me, like, the real impactful cameo is Into the Spider-Verse. Like, that was a really good goodbye cameo. Unintentional goodbye cameo. This was okay. Who cares? It's Stan Lee, and I'm glad to see him that way. So, yeah.
Everyone still clapped and cheered. Tyler, how about you?
Yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular. It was cool that they made him look like he actually, like he used to in the 70s. So that was kind of a cool touch to actually make it look like 1970s era Stan Lee. But otherwise, not like
the agent. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. So we then see Tony sees his father. And this was one of my favorite scenes.
What's your name? Howard Potts.
Yeah.
Howard Stark. Oh man, I love seeing these interactions with
I think my favorite part about it is that Tony found out that his father really did love him and care about him.
Yep.
Nothing I would do for my kid.
Yeah.
That hit me right there, man.
And he asked advice
really
about
good.
Tony said, I just got a kid. And, like, he asked for his advice. Like, it was like a really nice touching moment. What'd you guys think of that moment?
It's like at that point, they're closing Tony's story. You didn't know if he was going to die or if it was just his last film.
Yeah.
But the dialogue, that shows you they're closing his story. The fact that he even got that moment was incredible.
Yeah, it was perfect. Fantastic. I'm sure you guys both do agree.
Yeah,
Also.
Tyler.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was one of those things where Tony kind of had this idea of who his father was, and then realized who he actually was. Like, he really did care about him.
Yeah, really, like, that's a standout scene for me in the whole movie. I really loved it. Yeah.
We got to talk about Cap seeing Peggy again.
Yeah,
that got me.
That was good.
Yeah, that was just it's just.
How does Cap deal with? By the way, you have a future niece, and I made out with her. I wonder how they deal with that.
I read about this today. Yeah, it's a fiasco to say the least.
Alan Silvestri's score, amazing.
They
have to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we forgot one. Hank Pym. We see Hank Pym again. Michael Douglas.
Yep.
And the captain was like, "We the package is broken. We need you to come down here." So they got more Pym particles.
Yep. Let's see.
All right, Vormir 2014. We're back to Vormir, and we know somebody's dying in this scene. Clint and Nat, they go up to the mountain, and Red Skull's back. Yep, which is great, and all that. So they explains the exact process of how to get the Soul Stone, just like Infinity War. And then Clint and Nat are just talking like, all right, who's sacrificing themselves, and then they fight each other, and they're like, no, I'm saying I don't want to tell my family I love them and all that, and then Nat is the one who sacrifices herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rip to Black Widow.
Yeah, what did we all think about this scene? I mean, were we all thinking it was going to be Black Widow, or some of us think it was Ronan? What did we think about this? Let's start with Tyler.
Hawkeye cheats death again. Between this and Age of Ultron, he is unkillable. He has no powers, but yet he still survives. But, I mean, it was a very touching scene. It was very well done. I mean, there's only so many characters you can put in one of those situations that would actually, like, pull on the heartstrings, since they obviously have a very long-term, emotional, deep, loving connection with each other. I mean, of all the Avengers, I think they probably do have one of the biggest connections. So, and you knew that someone had to die to claim the Soul Stone. And it was just a matter of who. I figured it was going to be Hawkeye, just because it's, he was going to sacrifice himself because of his family and all that stuff. And then it made that scene even more sad, because before they go back in time, you see that's that moment with Black Widow saying, "See you in a minute" to Captain America. And it's like, no. They never see each other.
Yeah, I mean, did Durbin or Jared, did any of you think it was going to be Hawkeye in that moment?
I honestly, I didn't know who it was going to be. I thought it could have been either of them, and one of them would start getting closer to the ledge, and then they'd shoot an arrow, and the other one would. It was kind of an emotional back and forth for me. One thing that I thought was a little bit off there was like when Red Skull was saying like their parents' names or whatever, and then Natasha was like, I didn't know who my parents were.
Right.
How does she know that was her parents though?
Who was it? Who's her parent again?
What was the name?
Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan something.
Ivan Drago or something.
Yeah, Ivan Drago. That's what it was.
Ivan. I don't know.
The only Russian person we know.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I totally forgot about
personal thing for me.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I mean,
yeah, super emotional. And then Hawkeye gets the Soul Stone. So now they have all the stones, and they go back and like, all right, do we have them all? Did we really just pull this off? And then it's like, Clint, where's Nat? And then super emotional. Everyone's dealing with Nat's death.
That part was more emotional for me than Nat's actual death. And I hate saying that. I just wasn't so attached to Nat that when she died, I didn't feel the heartstring. But the whole scene where they were wrestling who was going to die was well done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We see.
For me, it was like, okay, I know her movie's a prequel now.
Yeah, so it didn't matter. Yeah.
Was that
right. That. I'm still like interested to see it, obviously, still.
Well, I guess for that scene, it would have maybe drawn a little bit more emotion if it would have been like this slow motion fall into darkness. Instead, it's just like her laying on the ground,
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, then we see Thor's just like, can we just use the stones and bring her back? I'm like, no, why don't you just go to the red guy and ask him?
Yeah, that was great.
And so, yeah, they're dealing with Nat's death. Hulk is sad and all that.
Can we address the chat real quick?
Yeah, address the chat.
William says he definitely loved the fact that Tony and Thor got closure with their parents, and Cap seeing Peggy, which just hit him. Yeah, it was emotional. Just walking through here, Lebowski, another funny line.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it would be Black Widow who would die. All right.
Yeah. Plus, Hawkeye's getting his own series.
That is true.
That makes sense. All right, so now we go to the scene. They have all the Infinity Stones, and they made a new Infinity Gauntlet made out of the nanotech by Tony Stark. And so they all decide, all right, none of us humans are going to put on the gauntlet or else we're going to die. And so Hulk's like, I have gamma radiation, so it won't affect me like the rest of you. So he puts on the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's just like, ah! And so while that is happening, evil Nebula is the one who comes back instead of the regular Nebula, and she brings Thanos and his massive ship to the future world. And so Hulk is continuing going, and then snap. And then we see everything's beautiful. It seems like everything's come back.
Gets the phone call.
And then Scott looks up and Thanos drops a bomb.
I thought they had just killed Ant-Man in that scene. No way.
How could have Ant-Man survived that? And so Thanos, he is blowing bombs, blew up the entire Avengers facility. And then, oh man, Thanos is in the real world.
He's there.
Oh man. So let's talk about all of that. So Durbin.
I thought all that was just awesome. And I love that sense that Hulk had when he put on that gauntlet and he goes, this is gamma radiation. I'm made from gamma radiation. I was made for this. Like, that was just a really, really good epic Hulk moment for me where he sits there and goes, I was made for this.
Yeah.
And I got a little choked up when Hawkeye's wife was calling him. And when he answered the phone, he couldn't even say hi. He's just sitting there, and it's like you can feel that throat constricting feeling. And you could just, that feeling where it's just so tight, you can't even choke out a word. Yes. And I just felt like Jeremy Renner just portrayed that so well. And then everything explodes. I'm like, dang it, he better live.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I thought that was.
Yeah, I thought someone was gonna die. Like in that, I thought like, someone has.
I thought War Machine or Ant-Man. Somebody.
Man, he like the blast was like right in front of him.
he might have shrunk.
Yeah,
and, I don't know.
Turned into Giant Man.
That's what someone said, that he shrunk. That's what it was.
Oh, that's a good theory.
Yeah, that he shrunk when that happened. But
I'm gonna go with it because anything that we say in this movie is a plot hole. I call it a plot opportunity because I just love this movie too much.
There you go.
All right.
Someone also mentioned that Vin Diesel had 3 lines. How much did he get paid?
$8.4 million.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So Thanos comes back. Thanos is blowing stuff up, and he shows up, and he's gonna wait for the stones.
He just sits there.
Of course, he sits on his ass and has Nebula do the dirty work.
Great.
It's great, and I'm just
hiding his time.
And so we see Cap, Iron Man, and Thor get up and like they see Thanos sitting down and all that. We're gonna defeat him, right? And then the thunder comes, and we see Thor put on the suit and the Stormbreaker.
Oh, yes, Thor in his suit. I loved it.
Both in his hand, like he was.
Yep. So they walk up to Thanos, and there's just the reason why I wiped out half of humanity is I'm just gonna drop this Earth into its last atom. And so they get up. Thanos puts on the armor, and then they fight Thanos. Woo! And they get their asses smacked in this first
Yeah, but that scene was so unbelievably epic. Those 3 original up against Thanos.
Yep.
So we cut to Bad Nebula interjecting Ronan, who has the gauntlet, and we see also, what are they, the Outriders?
Yes, chasing
those creatures are back, Thanos' creatures. And so Clint gets stopped by Bad Nebula. All right, he takes the gauntlet. Daddy, I have the gauntlet.
Yeah, I was like, Hawkeye, you idiot. You
and this is where Good Nebula and Gamora decide to team up. All right, we can stop Thanos together. And they interject Bad Nebula, and they kill Bad Nebula.
Oh, yeah. So Nebula dies.
Time travel. She killed her past self. So I know.
Except you can't change the present, which is brain and not. You can't change the present, but she killed her past self.
You can't kill yourself.
In the Flash earlier, and I watched the Flash too because in the end of season 1 of the Flash, Eddie Thawne kills himself so the Reverse Flash disintegrates because he can't exist. So if you kill,
and yet there's some other weird Reverse Flash timeline that comes back in. What is that? What?
Yeah.
Whatever.
My brain hurts.
Right now.
Yeah. Then we cut back to Thanos. He's beating up Iron Man, and he's getting his ass smacked as well. While all this is happening, he has Stormbreaker up to Thor, and then we see Mjolnir floating. And then it hits Thanos, and it goes to Captain America!
Yeah!
Reminding me of The Force Awakens.
Yes!
The hero shot of the movie.
Jared, talk about it. What
oh my gosh, no. What Tyler said, it was basically like the exact same scene from The Force Awakens or whatever, but I was like up in my seat cheering, freaking out because they hinted it in Age of Ultron and it got bonkers, man.
I speculated this was gonna happen.
It was so
and then
awesome.
Cap is just like fighting Thanos, boom, boom. He hits it like a baseball bat, boom, and then he's like
Durbin, what? Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Ryan just did the best description I could have ever heard. Boom, boom. Like, I mean, how else can you say it? It was so awesome to see him use the hammer and the shield together as one unit. Like, that was just unbelievable. And you know what? I had this theory now. I go back to Age of Ultron when everybody's playing that game, lift the hammer. You know how when Captain America tried to lift it and it squeaked? I'm thinking he was worthy and he realized he could have lifted it, but he didn't want to embarrass Thor, so the squeak was him putting it back down real quick. And so I'm like, I'm kind of wondering if he was worthy even back then, so he knew he could do it now.
Thor knew he was worthy.
Yeah, I knew it. And then Thanos Thanos, he comes back hard at Cap. He's whooping Cap's ass.
This is all without Infinity Stones.
And
by
then
the
he
way,
breaks
too.
half of Cap's shield. Just like
Oh, that was so amazing.
Giant
just
crazy.
like Tony flashback. So Captain America's beat up. Thanos is just like, before I destroy your stubborn planet, I shall break down. And then, boom, we see the Black Order show up, the Chitauri army. Everything we've seen from Thanos and his Chitauri army, they come in ready to battle.
It doesn't look good.
Captain America looks by himself.
Can I address the chat real quick? Because
Sorry, before we talk about this, address the chat.
Someone said they love the whole third act. We're getting right into it. Thanos definitely got his best line when he said their failure led him back to him. By the way, do you guys prefer him in Infinity War or Endgame?
Who, Thanos?
Yeah.
Oh, I personally think Infinity War.
It was a movie.
Well, it's hard to say because Infinity War is about him.
It was like a movie.
Endgame is not about him.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So it's hard. It's like apples and oranges to me.
It's true.
And it's a different Thanos because they killed the original Thanos, and this is the 2014 Thanos.
Yeah. That's a good point.
That it was Thanos was Infinity War. So
I absolutely love when Cap wielded Mjolnir, and then Cap got a few licks on Thanos. Yeah, but Thanos got his too, for sure.
he came back hard.
Now we can talk about what you
So
want.
Cap looks like he's by himself, looking at the like we're screwed, and then he hears Cap.
That's my favorite moment, by the way, though.
What's your favorite moment?
Where he's standing alone before he gets the crackle on, and he stands alone. And he's like, "I'm gonna keep fighting."
Yeah. It's just like his like half broken shield to his arm.
Cap, can you hear me? It's Sam on your left. Woo! We see Doctor Strange.
That
Portal.
chill.
And we see Black Panther, Shuri, and Okoye walk out. Boom, boom. And I said, Wakanda forever, yes! Cap is just like, yes. And then Falcon flies out. Oh, man, Wakanda. So many people.
Spider-Man swings in.
Oh, yeah.
Star-Lord, everybody. Drax.
What's into that with, though?
Wait, what'd you say, Tyler?
Don't worry about it.
Into on from inside the portal. I think about it. What did he like shoot his web onto?
So this actually, can I bring
Stop
something
thinking
up?
when it comes to this movie.
This made me think of.
The brief battlefield. I'm just thinking, what did he swing on to?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's funny. Durbin, I want to bring something up you brought up earlier about a theory about them being in the Soul Stone. And like it would have been for me personally, it would have been kind of cool to see where they go.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't get that. I don't know if that's just me.
I disagree because it's like knowing less is better.
They're just in like lounge room somewhere.
Well,
Playing
Peter,
Fortnite.
Peter Parker had a quick line about that because he said
True. That's
it
true.
was like I fainted and then I woke up and the magic guy was like, "It's been 5 years and they need our help." And I was like, "Oh, so like for you it was nothing. You like one bad moment and suddenly it's 5 years later."
True.
Yep.
That is true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
It's like-
continuing on with this amazing moment.
sorry, I just
we see Valkyrie, Scarlet Witch, and the Asgardians,
Yeah, everyone.
Korg, Meek, Howard the Duck, and Baku. Everybody.
Wait, I missed Howard.
Yeah,
he was in
he's
there.
in there.
See when
Yep.
Wasp shows up. Wasp shows up. Howard the Duck is there.
I gotta go back and see this movie again. I missed Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
You're kidding me. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's in the back, and he has a machine gun.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Strange is like, "Do we have everybody? Oh, you wanted more? What? Boom! Giant Man pops out. Rocket, Hulk, all of them, and then
I love Giant Man.
Bum, bum,
They're just
bum, 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 bum. Cap's like, Avengers! Assemble.
Perfect.
Rah!
I was like,
That is hands down the best moment in the MCU. Nothing's gonna top that.
Yeah, like that was like the peak of hype, I would say.
Tyler,
Oh yeah.
orgasm during this scene.
Everyone from the MCU is here that's alive, except obviously the couple Quicksilver's dead and Black Widow's dead, but everybody else for the most part is pretty much until Twin's not there either.
Yeah.
But everybody that's alive is there, and like you said, when he says Avengers, I was like, oh, he's gonna say Avengers Assemble. He said it. And then
Yes,
all
and then we-
hell breaks loose, and they all run into each other. It makes the airport scene from Civil War look like nothing.
Oh yeah.
The battle goes in, it pursuits that Thor uses Stormbreaker, and then Ant-Man punches that Chitauri thing. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Punches the ship like.
That was amazing.
And Drax is going, ah!
Yeah, that was the funny moment just to see in passing him just get on the guy's back.
Yeah, and Thor. I love when Thor's just like, no, give me that. You get the little one.
Yes.
Just like
man.
Jared, what's going through your head when all this is happening?
Jared,
Like,
man.
just what?
Mass hysteria. I don't know what I'm seeing on screen. I'm pretty sure I blacked out, but
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Durbin. Someone in the chat brought this up. This is pretty much Return of the King for the MCU.
Oh, it was so Return of the King for the MCU, and Captain America was so Aragorn standing there, Avengers, assemble, and oh my gosh.
Blood shall be shed.
I agree with Jared. I must have blacked out. It was too much for my brain to take. I didn't even catch Howard the Duck. I mean, I was so beyond what is going on?
Yeah, this is like the Battle of Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings mixed with Ready Player One. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Ready Player One.
And then like times 100 of the Wakanda fight in Infinity War.
Absolutely.
Just like
Oh, I love when Black Panther's like Ibombe, Ibombe, and
Yeah.
M'Baku.
it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
And then you see all the ships too from each of the worlds, Wakanda and Asgard. That's so good.
Yep.
And then I love this moment. We see Tony and Peter reunite, like
Which
and everything
Durbin
which you
talked
brought
about,
up, and then Tony just hugs him.
Yep.
Star-Lord fights some dudes off, and then Gamora sees Gamora. But I lost you. Don't.
So mean, because it's like you knew what we knew as the audience that wasn't that his Gamora, but then he's like, oh, he's gonna think that's his Gamora, and then that
Yep.
It was
really sad.
Yeah, it was either
or a tree.
Someone asked in the chat, is Loki still dead?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's confusing, but I really if they can't change the present, then he's dead.
Yeah.
Definitely dead.
This third act is easily surpasses the Wakanda battle. Just the amount of people,
100%.
interactions.
Agreed.
Cap finally saying Avengers assemble. Yeah,
Absolutely. So Tony sees Doctor Strange again, and he's like, hey, tell me about this one outcome. You say if we win, what happens? If I tell you what happens, it won't happen.
What was going through your heads when that was said? Did we know?
I wanted to know. I was like, I know this is it. Like, I know this is the one. What are you not telling me, Doctor Strange?
This is.
And then we see Wasp with Ant-Man again. That was great to see.
Mhm.
Yes.
And then Scarlet Witch, oh man, she's like, you took everything from me.
I don't even know. who
Can I
you
just
are.
say she could have killed Thanos if that ship didn't intervene.
He's always been super OP, but they only give her brief moments in every movie she's in because she can kill everybody.
Yeah. I mean, her power is straight from the Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, she's so powerful. Like she was fighting off Thanos in the previous movie when he had 5 of the 6 stones, and she just picks him up, just straight up picks him up, and just
And he knew it too,
like
like
fire to stop himself from being killed.
and he knew it, like he was struggling.
Yeah, we see absolutely. We see Black Panther and talk to Clint, like, give me that, and then we see Ebony Maw grab him and all. We see Spider-Man too. Around that, hey, what was it? Hey, Queens, catch.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No, that part where they're using the glove as basically a football and just running down, like Black Panther, that is crazy. And then he throws it to Spider-Man and he's just swinging. I was like, this is awesome.
And what about Spider-Man on the back of a Pegasus with
Yes.
Valkyrie?
Yes.
Hey, nice to meet you, this horsey lady. And then
insta kill,
and he uses insta kill mode.
Yes.
He's like, I got this. I got this. I got this. I don't got this.
And then we hear of an explosion, and like something's come out of the surface. Boom! Captain Marvel comes back, destroys Thanos' ship entirely.
And in that exact moment, I went, "Oh yeah, she's in this."
Yes. I thought the same thing. Because okay, this is what I thought when they moved the cannons up to the sky. I was like, oh man, Galactus is gonna show up. This is the beginning of the next phase. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel's in this movie.
Yeah. That's what my stepdad said. He's like, I forgot she was in this movie.
That is bad. That is so bad.
I leaned over and I whispered that to my wife, and I just went, "Oh yeah, that's right. She was in the beginning."
Yeah.
Danvers, we need some assistance. And then Peter Parker's like, hey, I'm Peter Parker. hey, Peter Parker, you got something for me?
And she
I hope you don't lose it. And then these women come together.
Oh, the
Don't worry,
badass
we
woman
got her
moment.
back. That sets up the Elite Eight. We see Wasp. We see all these women.
Everybody. It was a really cool moment.
And then they're all using their powers. Scarlet Witch on those thingies. And then Thanos comes and all of that. Captain Marvel flies by her. Thanos destroys the first quantum realm machine.
Yes.
And all that.
A giant blade right into it.
Yeah.
And then we hear
Yes.
Does anyone spot an ugly brown van?
Giant battle.
What else? Thanos versus Captain Marvel. And they're all battling for the gauntlet at this point. Iron
That
Man.
was the one cool scene Captain Marvel got. That was like that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
And then Thanos takes the Power Stone.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Thanos takes the Power Stone out, and then he pushes Captain Marvel back. And then Doctor Strange gives the look. And then Thanos and all that. Iron Man tries to take the gauntlet out, and then nope, Thanos does this.
Psych.
No, he's like, I am inevitable. And no, he's just like, I am Iron Man. Boom!
Oh, that scene.
Crazy.
Oh, that scene.
Man. And then all the bad guys start turning to dust. Thanos is just looking around him.
He just sits down. He just straight up just like, oh, well, all right.
Yeah. Let's stop and talk about this moment. Like, we knew, right? Like when he had it on, like it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Like what was
Thanos? Oh yeah, Tyler. Just like you said, Vision dies twice. Thanos dies twice.
Let's talk about Cap. I mean, not Cap. Iron Man wielding the gauntlet, pretty much, right?
Iron Man, yeah.
He took the gauntlet. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's talk about it.
I love what Thanos' face.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah, that's that old. All right, whatever. I lost.
That's Tony Stark. All right.
Plus, the thing too, he had. There's no way he survives this. Like,
No way.
Yeah.
really, like, he saw into someone like Thanos or Hulk, who are these monstrous beasts of people, and like Tony survives this. Like,
Yeah, it was a tough moment for sure. He knew that he had to make the ultimate sacrifice, and
There were two lines that got me right there. And first off, Spider-Man, both movies, he's 2 for 2 in making me cry. I don't want to go, and then reversing it to we won, Stark, we won. Like both times, Tom Holland made me cry, and I want to punch him for it. And then the other line that made me cry is Pepper Potts, looking at him and saying, "We're gonna be fine. You can rest."
Yeah.
That got me.
we didn't talk about her.
That's when I started crying for 10 minutes straight.
What did you want to talk about, Tyler?
We didn't talk about her showing up to the battle in her rescue armor.
Well, it was cool, but quick. It was so quick. I wanted more of it.
Well, that one quick scene, it was like maybe 2 seconds where they're fighting back to back.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That spinning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Him and War Machine used to have.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love the people that were the closest to Tony were there. It was War Machine. It was
And
Spider-Man.
Cap was crying
it was
too.
Pepper. Yeah.
That's where I started crying. It turns to black. Music by Alan Silvestri. And then we see Hawkeye reunite with his family. And then we talked about this earlier. Peter reuniting with Ned and all that. And then, man, just goes right to Tony's hologram message saying, I love you 3000. Oh, man, powerful stuff.
Part of the journey is the end. I was like, oh, jeez.
And then we go to Tony's funeral. And pretty much every character except for Gamora. I don't know who else wasn't there, but
I like how they were all in their groups, like
they were all in the groups. That was great.
It was really well shot. Even the kid from Iron Man 3 was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize that was the kid from Iron Man 3. I was like, why are we focused? Who is that kid? And then
Exactly. Same thing.
Yeah.
It took me 2 watches to see Thunderbolt Ross there. And then we see Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson having a 5-second cameo.
Yeah, I was a little like, why didn't he show up? And why did him and Maria?
Yeah.
He didn't say his mother effer line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think we can address a couple of things here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go to the chat.
Let's see. My whole theater and I were cheering and applauding throughout the entire third act. If the Pegasus is male, I would name it either Maximilian or Crawford.
Good to know.
I like Maximilian. That's a good one.
A lot of people say that the girl power scene was forced. I thought it was cool.
Didn't feel forced to me.
No, it was a cool moment. I felt Captain Marvel was used great, though I wish Hulk got his rematch with Thanos. Thank you, and Okoye was used a bit more. Yeah.
I don't think Hulk.
Let's be honest. Hulk would have gotten his ass beat
I
again.
think Hulk would have won. He didn't. He lost the fair and square the first time.
Hulk would have
But
gotten his
was that because he had the Power Stone? Like, did the Power Stone give him that extra edge against Hulk?
But
I
now-
mean,
Thanos is more. I think he would have taken on Thanos.
Bruce Banner he's weak Banner now because he's controlled by Bruce. He's not Hulk anymore. He didn't want to.
That's true.
It was so damn relieving to see Thanos being dusted. Where I'm right there with
One of
you.
the most satisfying.
I had one question about that dusting. When they snap, does it send them back to 2014 or are they gone?
I would assume they're gone. I mean, they look like they turned to dust, but it would make more sense if they were sent back to 2014 with like their memories wiped.
Yeah.
And then things could just unfold. I'm betting they died because
That's
you
what I
can't
was
change the
assuming.
present. You can't change the present, so my brain is in a freaking knot. But sometimes I like to pretend they were just beamed back, memories wiped.
Time
I
travel.
think you're dead. Yeah.
Let's see. In Infinity War, Iron Man fights Thanos with 4 Infinity Stones toe to toe and earns his respect. Thor almost lands a death blow on full Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. In Endgame, they can't even put a decent fight against no Infinity Stone Thanos with a Mjolnir wielding Cap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they won. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that kind of ties
But
back
I'm glad
to what,
Cap struggled.
well, that
So
kind of tied back to the whole fat Thor potentially not being able to work combat as well.
let's see. So surprising. Ross and Dr. Pym were there since they don't usually like Stark. I'm glad that they were there though. Yeah,
And Janet too.
Yeah, Janet was there too. And what's up with the chopping up Cap shield? Like, was it made out of tinfoil?
I think Thanos is that strong.
Yeah.
Well, we also don't know what Thanos' weapon was made out of.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it could have been vibranium against whatever it is that's in
He could have
Wolverine.
Adamantium.
could have got it
Yes.
from E-Tree from Nidavellir.
See, that would do it.
That weapon
Yeah.
was ridiculous.
Because he got the gauntlet from him.
All right, and
Yeah.
we'll go one more thought here before we go to the end, Ryan. Imagine Galactus showing up at the end, like you said, Jared. That would
Only if he's in his old school like pink and blue costume.
What if it was? Oh my
Not
god.
clown like he was in Fantastic Four.
So yeah, it was great to see all the different groups there respecting Tony at the end. I would have liked to see a little thing for Natasha there too, but again, it was for Tony, so I agree.
Like,
Which brings up a great conversation with Clint and Wanda. They're having a talk about, I really hope Nat saw we won, and then she's like, she did.
She knows.
She knows.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about this next scene, the cheeseburger scene. Happy Hogan and Morgan. What do you want to eat? Cheeseburgers. You know your daddy liked cheeseburgers. I'm gonna get you all the cheeseburgers you want.
It was tied back to the first Iron Man, right? When
I want a cheeseburger and I want to hold a press conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we cut to Valkyrie and Thor having a talk, and then Thor's just like, "No, I'll make you Queen of Asgard."
There we go.
I do have a ride, and
So-
then Rocket and the Guardians.
So let's talk about Valkyrie being the queen. What do we think, guys?
Yeah, Queen of Asgard.
It fits Thor. He didn't want to be a king.
Yeah.
Not very many threats.
It's true. That is true. And I think our next question is,
Thor joins the Guardians. The Asgardians of the galaxy.
Yep.
does that confirm he's in Guardians 3, or is it he said he just has a ride?
I don't know if he wasn't in the third one after the way it was set up that way. And they're like, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. I'm the
So
leader.
you think so? You think he's in it?
Jared Turbin.
Yeah, I think that the way that they ended the movie set up several different ways they're going to take it. So, like, there's going to be the cosmic stuff with the Guardians and Thor. There's going to be stuff on Earth with Peter Parker and people like that. And then potentially a third one with all of the female A-Force members.
And then everyone else goes to
Nice.
Yeah.
Turbin.
I'd like to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with Thor being in there because you don't have Gamora now, so put Thor in her position, and then as they're seeking down Gamora, that'd be fun.
So we do think that was a question we had. Do we think they're going to look for Gamora in Guardians 3?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a given. I mean, he's
Yeah.
already looking on the monitor.
Yeah.
Like, he's already trying to find her. Yeah.
Right. So there we go.
You two should fight for the role of leadership.
Yeah, and the
Use
knives.
knives.
Mantis loves knives.
All right.
So I think that answers all our questions. What do we want to address the chat?
Right here.
After we're done with all this?
No, we're good with the chat. Yeah.
All right. So we see Steve Rogers, Hulk, and then Sam and Bucky and all of them. Steve is going to bring back all the Infinity Stones, and he says, be sure to come back here within 5 seconds. And then he says bye to Hulk, Sam, and Bucky, and all that. And then I love the callback to First Avenger. Don't do anything stupid till I get back. How can I? I'm taking all the stupid with you.
Yeah, that was nice.
And so Cap goes back, takes Mjolnir with him, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why isn't
Gone.
it working? And then Steve, and then we see Steve sitting on a bench, and he's a lot older,
a lot
older. And so,
See, I was always curious how he aged with that serum, because we know, like, on a cellular level, like, his, everything's better, faster, heals better. So it's like, wow. I mean,
can I just say,
it's interesting.
can I say I love Alan Silvestri's score?
Can you say he just love the score?
Yeah, and then he's talking with Sam and all of that. It's going to be really hard in a world without Captain America, which brings me something. Takes out the shield.
Yep.
Right on.
Yes.
Oh man, this final scene is a perfect send off for Chris Evans.
Yep. So Falcon is going to take over as Cap. Did anybody want Bucky, or did we assume it was going to be Falcon?
I assumed it was Bucky.
What'd you say, Tyler? Sorry.
I wanted it to be Bucky. I like Bucky.
Okay. What do we think, Jared?
Yeah, I assumed it would be Bucky and whatnot, but it makes more sense with Falcon and kind of the relationship. Plus, there's going to be that buddy show or movie with those two.
Yeah.
Plus, he's the White Wolf.
That is.
yeah.
Yes.
How about you, Durbin? What do we think about the decision?
I had heard in the comics that it was Sam who took it over first, and Bucky took it over at some point after Sam. So I wasn't surprised to see Sam take the mantle.
Right. It was a good little moment there.
I love that moment. And then we go to the next scene, which is the final scene. Da, 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 da.
Perfect.
And we
Oh,
see
yes.
Steve and Peggy having the dance we've all wanted to see.
How I wanted the movie to end.
And then it cuts to the credits, and
Yep.
that's it. And then we
got
see
the
this
dance.
whole montage, the beautiful montage
Yeah, well
right here
done.
of all the characters. And then once the main Avengers, everybody just stood up, steered up, standing ovation, cheering, and Robert Downey Jr., the OG Godfather of the MCU.
Yeah.
And then, of course, guys, no end credit scenes. We waited till the end, and we hear clink, clink, clink. Tony Stark making his first Iron Man suit. We hear those sound effects.
I didn't know what that was though at the beginning. I'm like, what is that?
I didn't even register. Like you're saying, I'm like, wait, did that happen? I stayed through the whole. Oh yeah. So that just didn't even register.
Yeah, but it was
It was such a beautiful ending.
Oh, it was
It's
perfect.
fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of people had Captain America dying.
Me too.
I didn't. I thought that.
Now watching the movie again.
Yeah, I wanted him to be with Peggy at the end, and I'm glad.
See, for me, it was 50-50. It was 50-50 that Cap was going to do the gameplay sacrifice and give his life, or that Iron Man was. And I knew if one died, the other was probably going to live. And I thought, so before it was revealed Captain America, before it was revealed Iron Man already had the daughter, I thought that's how they were going to close it out from Infinity War, and they were going to have a kid then.
Right.
So, like, I didn't know. Like, for me, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the whole movie, guys.
Wow.
We're done with the movie. Man, that was a long movie, and
I've seen it twice now.
So before we talk about our MCU rankings, Cody, want to address the chat?
Yeah, real quickly. Thank you, all of you, for being here and talking all through it.
Thank you. There's 14.
It took 90 minutes, guys.
Wow. We did good. I thought
Yeah,
we were
we
going to be
did.
here for much longer.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Someone said Bucky could have been better. Someone asked, who did you guys like more, Captain America or Iron Man in this movie?
Captain America is the true MVP in my opinion.
I'd go with Captain
Yeah.
America personally.
Yeah,
I mean, I loved the closing of Iron Man's arc, him laying down his life, that he became that guy who would lay down on the wire so that others would live. Like, I loved that. But no, I agree. Captain America was the MVP. Like, he was the heart and soul of what happened in
he
this
had the
movie.
best moments too.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
yeah.
For sure. I don't know how we can compare these. Someone asked Toy Story or Endgame.
No, you can't compare that. And I'm gonna pick Endgame over Toy Story.
Yeah.
I mean, come
Urban,
on.
that's just like comparing Batman Begins with The Incredibles.
Like,
Yeah.
Can't compare these.
Oh, that was torture. Oh my gosh.
now watching the movie, it makes more sense. Iron Man died.
Captain America had the most screen time too. He had
That
an
is
hour and
true.
6 minutes.
But yeah, we're all caught up with the chat.
We're all caught up with the chat. All right.
Yeah.
That was the whole movie. Now we're going to give you guys our updated MCU rankings because I'm sure you guys are curious to know what our MCU rankings are with Endgame.
How do we
So-
want to do this? Do we just want everyone to
I guess-
list the whole thing, or do we go like
22 to 1.
just okay?
Just everyone do their whole list. We're going to start with Durbin, then we're going to go Jared, then
All
Tyler,
right.
then Cody, then me.
Oh boy.
All right. So, Durbin, start with your list 22.
Do you want me to do what I did and throw my DC movies in here like I did on my last ranking and rank it all together, or skip that and just do Marvel?
I'd be curious.
I haven't seen
Okay.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So this is my ranking combined with DC. So check out
Okay.
my video anyway because it's still entertaining. All right. So worst to best. So at worst, Suicide Squad,
Okay.
How many
Thor: The
movies?
Dark
How many
World.
movies?
How many movies?
Oh, there's 29 movies. 'Cause,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I'll do it fast. I'll do it fast. So here
Okay,
we go. Suicide Squad, Thor: The Dark World, Justice League, Thor: Ragnarok, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Captain Marvel, Captain America: The First Avenger, Ant-Man, Thor, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Shazam, Batman v Superman, Iron Man, Avengers, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Black Panther, Aquaman, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America: Civil War, Wonder Woman, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Man of Steel, Avengers: Infinity War, and Endgame.
Oh, it takes
Yeah,
the
Man
time.
of Steel. I
Boom.
love the love for Man of Steel.
Nice.
I love Man of Steel. Nobody can change my mind on that one.
That's my favorite Superman movie.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
All
All right.
All right. So,
I think Age of Ultron was pretty.
that was a shocker.
Yeah,
but,
that was nice.
I always put Ultron above the first Avengers. I love that movie. It's good.
Really?
all
Yeah,
right,
I love Age of Ultron.
Awesome.
I think it's a good sequel. All right, Jared, do your list now.
All right. Well, I did a video. Go check it out on my channel. But
Yeah.
quick rundown: Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Doctor Strange, Iron Man 3, Ant-Man, Captain America: First Avenger, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Captain America Civil Captain America Civil War, Iron Man, Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Infinity War, the OG Avengers, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and Endgame.
All right.
Okay,
Again, taking the top
another
spot.
Endgame top spot.
Wow.
All right, Tyler, I know you also uploaded your list. Right?
Yeah, I think we all did our own rankings of some kind, as you do on the YouTube verse. But yeah, so with mine, it was Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain Marvel, Captain America: The First Avenger, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man,
Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Black Panther, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Doctor Strange, Thor: Ragnarok, Captain America: Civil War, Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Avengers, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Avengers: Infinity War, and then Avengers: Endgame.
Again,
Oh.
taking the top spot. Wow.
all right, Cody, let's get controversial now.
Oh
Again,
boy. Okay, here we go, guys. I have the Incredible Hulk at the bottom.
Okay.
Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange.
What?
boo!
Not a fan. Sorry, guys. Iron Man 2, Thor: The Dark World, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now we're in the top 10.
Got it.
Top 10, Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2,
What?
Thor
That is
Ragnarok,
controversial.
Captain America: The First Avenger, Black Panther, top 5, Winter Soldier, Civil War, The Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War.
Whoa.
I like your list. I like the controversy.
First,
Yeah.
Infinity War as number one.
Have you guys all seen Endgame more than once?
No, I've only seen it once.
Only one.
I'm to see it more than once.
Okay.
So I've seen it. So I've seen it 3 times.
Okay, so I've only seen it once.
I'm
I feel
so
like
envious.
the more I watch it, I feel like Endgame will eventually be the top. But I got Infinity War over it right now.
Okay, so here's my list now. Coming in at number 22 is Iron Man 2, 21 Thor: The Dark World, 20 The Incredible Hulk, 19 Iron Man 3, 18 Captain Marvel, 17 Ant-Man and the Wasp, 16 Doctor Strange, 15 Thor, 14 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 13 Avengers Age of Ultron, 12 Ant-Man, 11 Spider-Man Homecoming, top 10. 10 is Thor Ragnarok, 9 Captain America the First Avenger, 8 Iron Man, 7 Black Panther, 6 Guardians of the Galaxy, 5 The Avengers, 4 Captain America the Winter Soldier, 3 Captain America Civil War, 2 Avengers Infinity War, and number 1 Avengers Endgame.
Lone Wolf. All right, awesome. I forgot everyone's list already.
All right. All right, we're going to go to the chat.
Someone said this is going to take another 2 hours just to go. Some people are giving their rankings. Ren Geekness is here. What's going on?
What's up, Ren? You were on Adam's stream.
He said he loves us 3,000.
Aw.
Thank you, Ren.
And everyone else is giving their list. Awesome. Perfect.
And guys, that's it. That's the whole spoiler discussion for Avengers Endgame. We went through all 3 hours and 2 minutes of this movie,
Just about.
scene by scene, spoiler by spoiler. Sorry if we spoiled it for you, but we haven't seen
Here
it.
to do.
It's our job. Anyway, guys, Durbin, Jared, and Tyler, thank you guys so
Thank
much
you,
for
guys.
joining this spoiler talk for Avengers Endgame. Guys, if you are not subscribed to these 3 gentlemen, their channel links are in the description
They're
below.
right there right now.
Please go
check
check
them out.
Go subscribe to them. They have awesome content over there. They deserve your support. And before we close out the show, we're of course going to give them their chance to shout out their social media pages. So starting with Durbin. Durbin, where can people find you?
Well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at World of Durbania. Otherwise, on Instagram and Facebook, just search Durbania. You'll find me. On YouTube, my channel is called Durbania. Again, type it. I'm the only person with that weird name, so you'll find me right away. I do movie reviews. I rank movies. I do this thing called a theological analysis where I love to dig deep into movies and their symbolism and just really get like overly deep with it. So come join me with that.
Are you going to do one of those for Endgame?
It pops up tomorrow morning.
Oh,
And
I
it's
can't
over 3 hours.
Spoiler.
Anyway, Jared, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at Jared Buckendahl for all sorts of movie reviews, trailer reactions, fun comedy skits. I do kind of, movies explained poorly, some throwback reviews, but they're comedic twists on them. But yeah, go over there and check out, usually I review the latest movies and all sorts of stuff. So go over there and watch some fun videos.
Yeah, some funny skits too.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next round for Rotten or Fresh, Jared.
Ooh, I'm coming at you.
We'll see you then.
And Tyler, where can people find you?
I like how everybody else has like the easiest things. Like, but people have my name. Like, I have a lot of people have my name, so I have to like. Everybody else has it easy. But on Twitter, you can find me at Tyler_Calvert23. On Instagram, it's Tyler Calvert23 with no underscore. On YouTube, it's Tyler Calvert, which is fortunately I am the #1 Tyler Calvert on YouTube.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The big,
What
the
if you
big
get deep
orange icon on there. I like orange. The color I went with the standout. But like everybody else, I do plenty of movie reviews, early movie reviews, trailer reactions, rankings, unboxings as well, just to switch things up. So if you like all that stuff, like you do on Ryan, Jared, or Durbania's channel, I do the same thing.
I like the Zebo box unboxings that you do. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Box.
Yeah,
I
those
like
are fun.
Those videos.
Those are fun. I don't have a subscription, but they're fun.
Anyway, Cody, you have a Facebook, you have a Twitter.
Yeah, I do.
People can follow you.
Don't follow me.
Don't follow him. He has the other YouTube channel. Don't follow that as
You
well.
can find me here editing videos, and you can find me
just sitting in the back, and
just.
and he's also the guy who hasn't seen.
All right, you had to say it. Okay.
Go watch those movies.
This year, my friend. This year.
Hashtag Cody watch Star Wars.
It's gonna start.
Wait, you haven't seen any of the Star Wars?
Nope.
He hasn't.
Okay, make it easy. Skip the prequels, do the original trilogy, and then the new ones. There you go.
In Durbin, I trust.
Great advice, Durbin.
Trust Durbin. All right.
Colo, you can watch
Durbin, we can trust.
You have to watch the pod racing though, because that's the best, and then the Clone Wars, wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Don't do it.
Noted. Okay.
Take his nut. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this spoiler talk for Avengers Endgame. And if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe today.
And to these awesome guys down below.
Please go check
Yeah.
them out. Links in the description below. And guys, all my social media links are in the description down below. And click the notification bell on your way out. And I will see you guys in the next video.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Awesome job talking with y'all, and see you all soon.
Love you 3000.
Whoa.